All right, so we've got 64x squared minus 48x plus 9. That means that a equals 64, b equals negative 48, and c equals 9. So if I use the AC method, that means I'm going to multiply 64 times 9, which is 576. And I need to think of two numbers that when I multiply them, they equal 576. But when I add them up, they're going to equal 48. Now, I feel like it's got to be somewhere in the middle. So sometimes what I'll do, 20 times 20 is 400, 30 times 30 is 900. I'm going to guess, and I know 25 times 25 is 625, so I'm going to guess 24 times 24, because 4 times 4 equals 16. Hey, look at that. That was a pretty good guess. So 24 times 24 equals 576. However, a positive 24 plus a positive 24 equals negative 48. So in order for this to be negative, this would have to be negative, and this would have to be negative. And then if this is negative and this is negative, oh yeah, that works, right? A negative 48 times a negative 48 is still a positive 576. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this middle term and divide it up into negative 24x minus negative 24x. Everything else just kind of drops down. In other words, my plus 9 goes on the back end here, and then I have 64x squared. Now, 9 is not, I kind of glossed over this, but 64 and 48 have a common factor, but 9 doesn't share a factor with them either. So there's nothing that I can factor out of all three terms. So I just kind of skipped that. So now the next step of the AC method is I'm going to see what I can factor out of this thing. I'm pretty sure that the greatest common factor of 64 and 24 is 8. And then this has 2 x's, this has 1 x, so I can factor out at least 1 x. And I need to multiply 8x by 8x to get 64x squared. And in order to get negative 24x, I need to multiply 8x by negative 3. Now over here, I think the common factor is 3. And because I have a negative sign here, I'm going to factor out a negative 3. This has an x, this one doesn't, so I can't factor out anything, just a negative 3. Now, negative 3 times 8x gives me a negative 24x. And then negative 3 times negative 3, that gives me the positive 9. Now, this is no accident that this is the same as this. I set it up that way. So I'm going to write 8x minus 3. Then for the remaining terms, I'm going to, in these set of parentheses, this is going to get written down here. And this is going to get written down here. Now, I notice one last thing. They're actually the same thing. So I'm going to say that's equal to 64x squared. Oh, I got distracted. Plus 9. But in reality, this is the same as 8x minus 3. So they're squared, right? Which is the same as this. Does that make sense?